At the school, I'm told him don't let it fool him. At the school, I'm told him don't let it fool him. At the school, I'm told him don't let it.
Islam.
Yes, this is class number 9. So today's class is in honor of Marcus Garvey, who's very strong tomorrow, right? And Marcus Garvey is the forerunner of the Moorish movement. So we're gonna honor him by recognizing one of his teachers, right? One of the people who actually inspired him to do everything that we give Garvey credit for. Like whatever Garvey did, and people say that he did, right? It was through the influence of Deuce Muhammad Ali. And then when you research Deuce Muhammad Ali, you'll find out that the only picture that you could find of him is one with his fez on. Like, that's just the picture. Put up his name, that's the picture. Not all the pictures of him. Right? You know, just like you would go look for pictures of the Prophet and you'd only find certain pictures. You know? You go look up Elijah Muhammad, they have all types of pictures on him. You know? Look up Malachi York, they got all types of pictures. They got pictures from Malachi York when he was singing R&B songs. Album covers, evidence, years of footage, right? And it comes back to that repetitive theme of the influence that the Moors have on civilizations. And we're not talking on a global scale. We're not talking like on an international scale. We're talking about in specific jurisdictions, there was always Moors there amongst the people who were Christian or atheists or whatever they wanted to be. And they were there for one specific purpose, and that was to give back to those who are always less fortunate if they don't say that they're a Moor when they're a Moor. If you are a Moor, dark-skinned, African, Negro, if you're that, and your real identity based on that description is you're a Moor, and then you're not saying that you're a Moor, then you just abandon yourself. Nobody did it to you like the white man did something. Like you did it to yourself. And then you lie on him and call him the white man. But he never claimed that. He claimed Europe. That's why he says, no, don't call us Caucasians, call us Europeans. You know, don't call us troglodytes from the Caucasus Mountains. Call us Europeans. Because we brought them into this realization that you have to belong to some type of landmass or have allegiance with one. Right? So in every single jurisdiction, the Moor is present. And unfortunately, it's not talked about unless Moors talk about it. That's why Prophet said, have your own paper, change the literature, make sure, you know, the Holy Quran and whatever certain temple things, you're not charging people for it. They just get that. Because they're just supposed to get that. Because it's supposed to be common knowledge. Right? So it's our job to put out certain information. So majority of the information on Deuce Muhammad Ali that's being presented today is out of this book, Deuce Muhammad Ali, 1866 to 1945, the autobiography of a pioneer, Pan-African, and Afro-Asian activist, compiled with an introduction by Mustafa Abdel Wahid. Right? So Mustafa Abdel Wahid received his BA degree in political science, global affairs, and international development from University of North Carolina. And then the Prophet was born in North Carolina. Right? The LLM and international law from Baku State University, the MLIS degree in library and information science from University of Wisconsin, and the PhD degree in political science from Auburn University in Alabama. Dr. Abdel Wahid has presented papers at many conferences on Islam and politics and role of library in developing countries. So this is his book right here. And then you can just, you can order it online. You can go to, I know brother No Shakir at Nile Valley Bookstore. Just got some in. So you could talk to him to get them. Nile Valley Books, I don't have the number on me, but you can just look that up and his phone number will come up. So Deuce Muhammad Ali in America. And that's just like a portion of the book, right? Oh yeah. And this is Brother Abdel Wahid. And the book's extensive.
Excuse me.
You know what I mean? Like, get the book. Because we're only dealing with the part about America, and it's maybe like 10 pages or 15 pages of the book. And then all the other book is dealing with his travels throughout the world. And it's in the first person. You know what I mean? So it's actually his writings. Like Deuce Muhammad Ali's writings. So I encourage you to get the book, and it's cheap too. It's not even expensive. It's like $20 or something like that. Right? So the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the last chapter starts off with, the last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days, to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days there came a forerunner of Jesus who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare and meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, and his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah, to teach the old-time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own, and be one with their Father God Allah. Alright, so that's in the Holy Quran, that Marcus Garvey is the forerunner of the Moorish movement. Right? So this is the Marcus Garvey obituary from the Comet newspaper, or part of the obituary from the Comet newspaper, August 17th, 1940. When we visited the United States in 1920, we were pleasurably surprised at the size of the international organization he had founded. It was not within the compass of his endeavors to lead his people to the promised land of political and economic freedom, but he has unquestionably altered their outlook as no previous leader seemed capable of accomplishing. Right? And then he wrote this emotional obituary because of the infiltration in the UNIA. And they were trying to put him against Marcus Garvey during the time of Marcus Garvey going to prison. So they were trying to basically get Garvey out to let Deuce Muhammad Ali be the head of the UNIA. This is what like UNIA people were doing. So people in the UNIA were trying to push Garvey out. And it was around the same time that Deuce Muhammad Ali was in America. And they wanted to get him in that position. Right? Not taking anything away from them for doing that. But look at it from the perspective of, you're gonna go with the Moor to back you, to be the captain of the ship, or you're gonna go with the black guy, the African. If it came to saving the nation, right? They should have did it personally and showed him, yo, like, you're not the man for the job. Like, we respect you and we honor you and we, you know what I mean, appreciate everything that you did, but you're not the man for the job. Like, there's a man that's for the job. Right? And if they brought that to him, and Garvey was sincere in the liberation of his people and have no ego or nothing, he would have gladly stepped down and let the Moor lead the organization, because he already has a track record, which is what we're not going to deal with today. The fact that Deuce Muhammad Ali's track record goes back to like the House of Commons in England. This is a Moor walking around in a fez in the House of Commons. One more. Right? When we go through some of the people that he had contact with when he was in the United States, it's like, you guys still don't want this? Here's a Sudanese Egyptian. Sudanese Egyptian coming to America to push Islam as a Moor, wearing a fez and all that. Just like Elijah Muhammad used to wear, just like Noble Drew Ali wears, wearing suit and tie, just like how the Nation of Islam looks. Right? Yeah, his track record is, when you have to get the book, that's how serious it is. And this is just one Moor. Like how much other Moors that we never heard about that were walking around in those times. Because no way that there was just this one individual with a fez walking around. 2011, and we at least have 2 people with fezzes in there. Right? So it's all about pumping the book, because I don't want nobody to say that, oh yeah, you know, these guys made a DVD of my book and I'm not getting any money off of it. Go buy the book. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or on whatever, support the book. Autobiography of Pan-African and Afro-Asian Activists by Mustafa Abdul Wahid. Deuce Muhammad Ali. So, philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Independence of nationality, independence of government is the means of protecting not only the individual but the group. Nationhood is the highest ideal of all peoples. So Noble Drew, Marcus Garvey told him that's about nationhood, because he's the forerunner of the prophet. And what else is he going to talk about? People could say whatever, that he never talked about nationhood. He talked about unity only amongst our own or whatever. Okay, it's still nationhood. But you can't be a nation with no status. You can't be a nation absence of a free national name. Right? If we are to believe in the divine injunction, we must realize that the time is coming when every man and every race must return to its own vine and fig tree. And that was in the Circle 7. And then Garvey was quoted as that's being his quote. Like, it's, 'cause if you go to